It's the real bullet. When I think about the 400, what were some of my thought processes and how I handled it? So first, out of the blocks, we always thought long and strong versus being quick. Out the blocks is long and strong. We pushing, we using our arms, we building momentum, and we're not afraid to hit it long and strong till about, I used to go 60 meters, but I would say at least 40, 50. Let's just say 50. We're going long and strong, generating power to build momentum. Every 100 in the 400 is on a fly, which means you're running into it, so you should already have momentum going into it. So from 0 to 60, 0 to 50, there's an energy system called ATP, which is an energy system that it gives you the ability to exert a certain amount of energy without like paying for it later on. So you can actually go from 0 to 60 kind of hard, not quick. You're not breathing quick where you kind of, but you can really get from 0 to 60 and put some effort in. Long, kind of not choppy, but just long to generate some power. So from here, we're gonna just walk it. From here, we getting out the hole, we long and strong, not really rushing it, but we the whole point right here is to generate power. But you generate power from the pushing position. You don't start to generate power from getting right here and you already running, then you stop generating power. Because if I was running against you, I'm still building right here. I'm not wasting a lot of energy, but I'm still covering ground. So that's the important part of this first part. You want to cover ground, but still move, but not waste a lot of energy. So we're getting around, boom, boom. Shoulders down. Hold on. When I run a curve, when I was thinking curve, if I'm right here on the curve, I'm looking like almost where the pole vault pit is. That's what that takes away. So I'm boom, boom, looking here, and with me looking here, it's gonna force me to kind of not try to run like this. It's gonna already put my head a little bit.
Yeah. I run like that. That'll has to come off.
I can hold it.
Yeah, so you
I'll definitely.
so you don't want
He'll catch you.
You don't want to lean too much in the curve. If you lean too much,
I'll catch you on the way to the car.
you look like this. You look like you're trying to go and lean into the curve, which you don't really need to do. When up in this area,
Gorgeous, right?
if you could just simply go here, because it's about what I'm doing here. Because this is what it's going to look like. I'm running straight, but I'm looking right here. It takes away so much of that lean. All you got to do is kind of focus, and it'll force you to, they call it the tangent. What you're trying to do is straighten the curve up. So it's not so much of a curve, it almost feels like a straightaway. So if you slightly put your body in focus that way, then it'll put your position that way. Take away all of this, because I'm just focused right there. So we're coming around, come on. This almost my 50, I'm driving. Now anytime I come out of a drive phase,
I'm sure I'll upload it to YouTube.
you never want to pop straight up.
And just do links.
If you're coming out, boom, boom, now I'm coming here, I'm looking here, so I ain't gotta lean. I got my head already here. Coming around. Now, all right, hold on right here. There's a deal where I used to do this. When I would get right up in here, I would call it like, I'm about to pick up like an extra man. You playing a game and you get that little doo-doo-doo. Like, that's what I used to feel like you used to get. just because I used to work my arm. I used to always work going in and coming out of a curve. And my work would just be giving 3 or 4 harder strokes with my arms, which looks like this is not getting it. I'm just coming off the curve and I'm just doing this. And I'm getting around. There's some energy in, because the arms are for rhythm, force, and balance. So at this point, I'm trying to just get a little bit more force without really having to get tight and generate. So the 4 strokes is gonna be from even from there to there. But look at my arms. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go. That 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 just kind of set me up to come off this curve. So it's the small things that you think while you're running, so you won't just get in la-la land and then start competing. So you're getting out, you know, when I get in here, when I get off this curve, I'm gonna make a 3 or 4 stroke arm stroke pump just to kind of change my rhythm and get into another rhythm without thinking about doing a whole lot. Just that boom, boom, just that in itself, a change of cadence to speed you up. So you're coming around, boom, boom, you get here, you're hitting it a couple strokes just to set you up on this back stretch. Now in the back stretch, I feel like some people think about it and go into a float phase. I say you gotta always think of the word active when you're back here. You think of float, you'll get too relaxed. Think of active, you'll think about still being relaxed, but staying on the horse, staying on it. Because some people get here and they lose it, they lose the momentum, and then they try to pick it up, but they took you took your foot too far off the gas. You can still keep your foot on the gas, but just drop everything and open up a little more back here. So you spin it, boom, 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 coming out long, starting to come here because you come around the curve. Then when you get back here, it's about staying on it. And back here, you gotta understand that the wrist controls the ankle. So if you're back here flapping like this, you're gonna be lazy with the ankle. And just to stiffen this up in the ankle doesn't take that much more energy. But it's so much more efficient to have it still just, instead of just, that's gonna be lazy. So you still wanna be on top of it, stand up tall, and kind of open up back here. Not too much arms. I always say, I save my arms for the home stretch, but I was a 2-4 guy. So I was able to get on this back stretch and turn over, stay tall, and open up. Not quick, not really quick, but just like this almost. I'm back here just like this. I already got my momentum. I'm not too tight like this. I'm just right here, opening up. And we're gonna walk it down. I get off here, I get back here, make sure my chin is down, and this, I'm staying focused and holding that momentum from that first 100. Hold that momentum, boom. Keep it open, not too wide, because you're gonna pay for it on the home stretch. You just wanna keep it right here, not reaching out too much. Right up under you, boom, boom. Not too loose. Back here, you can be a little bit more loose with the ankle. As far as like, if you was a sprinter, you want to be here the whole time. In the 400 on this back stretch, there's a little bit of being able to drop just a little bit because you want to unload a little bit, but you still want to be on top of the horse. You still want to stay on it. You don't want to drop it too much. So back here, you just open. Open, not open here. Open here so that your stride is open. Boom. More of your stride is open. Back here is understanding how to move fast, but think and breathe slow. You can't rush this with your breath. Back here, you got it. That's where you get into that. Being relaxed, but understanding how to cover ground and understanding that speed isn't always about how fast you think you're moving. You got to cover ground, but covering ground don't always mean overstriding. You can cover ground by planting your foot up under you and pushing. That's when the whole time I've been saying, push the track back. So when you come here, and you can do that motion. Here, that motion. You don't get a lot of power out of coming here and stepping out here. Because then you got to bring this all the way down. So it's boom, coming here, boom. And that's going to cover ground because when you push that track back, it's going to shoot everything forward. Then you got to think about it. It's just boom, and that's going to shoot it forward. But like I said, back here, you opening up, staying relaxed. In training, you're trying to move fast, cover ground, but not equate speed to how quick you're moving, because it's a long race. Okay, so like I said, you always want to go in and out of a curve. So if you're coming down this back stretch, when you get on this curve, if you got the same rhythm, like if I just kept the same cadence on the back stretch, then I got around the curve with the same cadence, I'm gonna slow down because you're dealing with centrifugal force. So you have to make a move going in a curve. Like I said, you go in a curve and out a curve with some intention. So coming in this curve, it's the same type of thing. This lane 3, I would usually, depending on ages or whatnot, I would start before the 200. If lane 3 was where the 200 started, I would start making a move back here a little bit, a couple meters, depending on, just to set myself up. And it can be another one of those 3 or 4 arm strokes. That 3 or 4 arm stroke just change the rhythm and change the cadence. So you come out here, you open, you open, whatever. Then before you get to your 200 meter mark, you just making sure when you hit that 200, you gave a little bit going into it. It ain't gotta be from way back there. It can be up close, but that's gonna get you in that curve and not dealing with that centrifugal force with the same pattern as this. So you're getting right before you get there too, you wanna just hit it a little bit with your arms just to get a momentum going. When you're running a curve, the left arm is for your power. The right arm is to steer you. So when you come around here, and even still, you shouldn't be in here like this. If you here and you looking right here, your body is going to end up running like a straight line. They call it a tangent. When you get good at it, you end up becoming a straight line. You're running straight down here, so you got to do a lot of turning. But this is your power arm. So you're coming around, you're getting power from here. This arm is the arm that's going to steer you around. So you can't be like this and this is back. It's out of position. You want to work this arm and be conscious of this arm being able to be the one. You don't want to go cross your body. It's like this, but then it's like this as I'm running around the curve. Not like this. If you head the right way, it's going to put you in a position to just run just like that. And you're going to end up going right around the curve. Boom, 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 boom. So understand when you hear power is in this arm and this is going to steer you. So as you're coming around, you're focusing on, okay, giving that inside arm some, dropping the shoulders, because at this point, your legs going to start to get tired. Now you got to understand that the legs carry the arms. I mean, the arms carry the legs. So you never ran a 400 and got here and felt like you can move with your arms like this. You're not gonna go nowhere. This is when you start to use your arms. Then you start to open them up a little more, not high, because when you get fatigued, you wanna shoot up. A lot of people wanna shoot up. They get fatigued, they start doing this. But when you get your arms, shoulders down, feet down, you actually are able to hit the track and still get that push the track back motion. And you won't be up and down. You'll be more still pushing. So hit it before you came into 2, just to get another rhythm going. Get it here, working the inside arm, because the inside arm is your power arm now. Opening it up some, not too high. You still want to clear it in the back. Boom. You go like this, coming around. Come around here. At 150, I used to always like to do a body check, because you're starting to get fatigued now, and the body's starting to do things. So when you get up in here, you want to say, okay, I got to drop my shoulders, because you got to be able to run and think at the same time. But that's why I practice, so you can know what you normally do and correct it in practice before you get there. The way you start to work on. Every time I run, I get up in here, I start doing this. When you start doing practices, know that and correct that before you get there. That's the only way you can get better. But when you get to 150, it's about doing a body check where I'm making sure my shoulders down, making sure my chin is not way up here, because when you get tired, from here, you only going further back. So I'm doing a body, okay, 150, boom, make sure my shoulders down, body check, make sure my shoulders down, make sure my head is right, make sure this arm is not back here, it's steering me around. And now I'm setting myself up to almost look like a sprinter when I get over there. May not be as forceful as sprinting, but mechanic-wise, you want to look like a sprinter the last 100, because sprinting motion is the most efficient. So you're coming around, right now you're thinking, all right, let me make sure my shoulders down. Let me make sure my chin down. Let me make sure I'm clearing in the back. Let me make sure this arm is not so wide. Because if this arm is wide, you can't get power from your legs here. You're only getting power from here. I probably said it a couple of times. If your arm is way out here, then your leg is gonna do that. You get the power and you get the turnover from closing this and closing this. It's called the conservation of angular momentum. It's the more you close like a figure skater. The figure skater can skate. When the figure skater like this, and when you want to get fast, bring it in like this, and he can twirl fast because of the angle. It's the conservation of the angle. So that is this being closed and this being closed. Same thing. If you try to run like this, your arm way out here, you can probably be fast, but you're losing time, because you got to bring that and swing that. If this is closed, it's supposed to look like this, and your leg's supposed to look like this. That way you can come and get back down. This is too wide. Some people do this, but eventually this causes hamstring issues, because you'll end up keep reaching. Then when you get tired, you'll really try to reach, opposed to being here. Then when you get tired, all you gotta do is be strong here and have the endurance to keep this position, and be able to know, okay, I gotta engage my core so I won't sit. You gotta, that's why that lower abdominal is so important, the planks and everything. That's gonna keep you, when you fatigue, keep you here, and not have to think about just moving the parts. You already in the right position. So body check at 150, thinking, okay, I gotta turn into a sprinter in a minute. Not necessarily running like a sprinter fast, but the mechanics. Because the sprint mechanics is the most efficient mechanics. So you're coming off this curve, and what I say, body check right there. I always said you wanna go in and come out of a curve. So you're coming around, you're here, and now before you getting on this, and this may be advanced, it may not, but I'm still doing that same 3 hard arm stroke, just like I did out of that curve, just like I did going into that curve. When I get up in here, I'm gonna be in this rhythm, then I'm gonna go 2, 3, whatever the case. Because just that small little, that, and being like intentional with that, is gonna put you on a different cadence. Now, coming off of this, some people deal with depth perception, which is, if I'm right here, people start looking at the finish line too early. And what that does is put you in the wrong position here. Because if I was coming off the curve and I'm already tired and I'm trying to get to the finish line, most people do this and the chin is here. That's a long way to go. So what I suggest is coming off this curve and thinking, okay, I gotta physically feel like I'm a sprinter. I know I may not move as fast as a sprinter because I'm fatigued, but I wanna come off and come here and try to make this look as pretty as possible. Now you get into a fight or flight mode and people start to rush it. You're just trying to finish up because somebody beside you. But while you're training, when you're stressed in training, you got a training session and you're really tired, that next, whatever you gotta do, don't try to rush all of them. You gotta learn how to look pretty while stressed. And looking pretty will make the speed come out because you're more efficient. And when I say look pretty, it's like if you was looking in the mirror and you was like, I want to run like this, that's what you should be thinking mentally your last 100. And if you keep your eyes 10 meters ahead of you on the ground, what it does is take this out. So you come off the curve and you get into looking just like this, which is, and you still got a long 100. So starting in this position is way better than starting in this position. But you gotta put yourself there. You gotta tell yourself, okay, when I get here, focus my eyes there, keep my head down, and then work my arms. So important. That takes away just that and bring it here. But it takes work because now your body wanna fall apart, but you're gonna tell it to do something when it really wants to fall apart. That's why I gotta work it in training. So you get here, come off, boom, boom. You focus here, not here. You may get there, but the tighter you get, you're just gonna go up anyway. So be intentional with starting it at a certain place. Man, you get here, then you kind of turn it into a sprinter, where it's, I mean, 400 is
Kind of becomes a foot race.
yeah, some people get here and they start going up, which looks like this. Because they're tired. A lot of that is because of not telling yourself and using your arms and pulling that arm back. If you fatigue and you do this really well, you can't go up. You can only go forward. So it looks like this. And that's what you want to think when you get here. Let me try to run like a sprinter. Don't rush it. But some people will rush it and it look like this. They'll come off, they already fatigued, they rushing it, and then they just kind of.
That's me.
Gotta, when you get off that, drop the chin, drop the shoulders.
No turnover.
Don't reach. Naturally, your body is gonna reach because you're tired. But in training, when you're tired, you gotta still do something where you're bringing that foot up under you. Perfect thing is having like a 300 or something where you're tired, and then having a 50-meter fly afterwards. When you are fatigued, you're breathing heavy, and I'm like, all right, this should give me 50 meters. But I don't want 50 meters to look like you're tired. I want you to run that 50 meters. It ain't gotta be that fast, but I want you just like this. Working the arms, because the arms are important to know how to work them when you're most fatigued. Arms carry the legs, but you gotta know how to move the arms. So with this, you're coming off the curve, feeling like a sprinter, keeping your chin down, keeping your hips up, and you step in here. When you get here, you step in. If you rush it, you'll back kick. If you're not focused on your ankle down, you'll end up doing this here. If you kind of feel what you're doing, you can be here, but your body not gonna naturally put you there. you gotta overemphasize, okay, I gotta go here. And I'm tired, but I know if I just act like I'm running, I'm a back kick. So I gotta be intentional with getting the arm back and get the knee up. Because it's easy to do this right here. But you gotta pull it from here, keep this engaged and work it. And right here is just, it's a lot of guts, it's a lot of heart, it's a lot of will to win, it's a lot of who's in the right angle. It's about, who's in the right body position here, and who's gonna keep stepping, and who's not gonna get too wide, and who's not gonna get too bouncy. And the only to do that is to keep the flaps down and actually feel like you actually hitting some of the track. The quicker you try to be right here, the more you go up and down. If you can go here, that's why they got the little kid, what's name, Quincy or something?
Quincy Wilson running the 45.
When he come here, he looked like this,
Yeah.
but his flaps are down and he's able to contact the ground and push the track back.
That explains.
That's why. That's why he don't go up. Even though he looked like this, his feet are doing what this is doing, and he's actually still like this at the last point. And if you like this, so with his flaps down and him actually doing this, it gives him actually the ability to hit the track and push it and go forward. That's why he can just keep going. So, it was a lot. But any questions? Questions on anything?
When
Yeah.
exactly you lift, are you supposed to lift your chin up again? Coming in at what time frame?
Try not to lift your
Chin
chin.
down.
So I heard, yeah, you was talking a lot about keeping your chin down, that intention to breathe, right? And for the
So-
mechanics of it all.
Well, on this home stretch, it was because a lot of people deal with depth perception and get to this last part and anticipate the line and start looking at it. And what that does is put you here. So coming out the curve, you're already tired. If you come off just not knowing that you're gonna get tired down here, which you know that, but to put yourself in the best position so when you do get tired, you're not all ready, so you wanna start here. So coming off the curve, instead of being all tall, you wanna you gotta feel the ground. You gotta get some to move forward. So that's why you wanna kind of drop your chin and look down. And that's just a psychic way of trying to keep you here. And if it keeps you here, then you can work from here. But working from here is different. So I would say just keeping the chin down, or keeping the eyes down 10 meters in front of you on this last 100. That makes sense? Yes, sir. It goes like his head is like this. That's a lack of keeping this tight. Yep, keeping engaged. So he's trying to use his whole body because he's not able to lock in here and just move from here. But that's a lot of strength. That's this strength, which gives you that wasted. But yeah, that's here. That's all right here. He got it here. He just got to engage it.
Came out of blank for 11 minutes and 30 seconds in school.
So he just gotta, you gotta be, you can have the strength, but then have the kinetic awareness to be able to use it when you need to use it. That's a different type of awareness. So when he's doing workouts and he's fatigued, anytime he's fatigued and he has something to do, he need to hear what he's doing and hear what not to do. Oh, you're bobbing your head, like keep your, and it may be because he's doing too much in the back.
I gotta look at that. I hadn't looked at that in the face.
Because the back will keep it moving. If he's here and everything's locked in, that's why I like your thing so much. It locks everything in, just right here. Yep, and lock that posture in. But it could be back or, because you can be tight here, but still run like this. But you need to run like this. Almost like there's a string here, and that's how your hips forward. That way, every time you put your foot down, it's under your center of mass. But if you don't, you lose it. You can just get loosey here. So it's just really paying attention to keeping that stand on top of it. But yeah, I would say through training, just I got to be worked on training. Yeah.
I think like you said, his body's doing what it naturally wants to try to
Go
get to the finish line, but he's got to then just
Connected awareness. Yeah. No problem. Yes, sir.
When you are pacing the 4, do you think times when you're running, like split the 200s into 2, or do you just think efficiency? Just think about trying to have the most efficient form the whole way around.
I ended up having this internal clock where I didn't think numbers. I thought feeling and rhythm. I could tell through training because of rhythm. I was a rhythm runner. I mean, because I came from a music background, but I could run and tell you what I ran in like a broken 200 just because of me knowing my own rhythm, not racing and training, not trying to do better than the workout and training, really being in training with intention where you are getting a kinetic awareness instead of just going through the motions and thinking that the repetition is going to do it. Mm-hmm. That's why it's so important to be able to connect the brain and the body through training and know what you're doing, because you don't have time to run and think and count and be in fight or flight and competitive. You got to know, as long as I come here and I put that foot where it needs to be, then I know what that rhythm feels like. It's like a rhythm.
What was the phrase you had used over there when you was talking about, I think
Body check.
No, it was the other one. It was the long one you had said.
Oh, the conservation of angular momentum.
Yes.
That's the whole figure skater thing. So when you're running and that arm is out here, you can't get that knee up. You don't get that knee up when you close that. That's where that comes from. And some people run here and it looks like this. And if you run like this and somebody say they can't get a knee up, that's because of this. Just because of that. Because this and this is this and this. So that's why when you're doing drills and doing this, if you let that arm dangle, that's gonna dangle. And ain't no power there. The power is here, right up under you. That's why it's important to do your drills like this, because every time you lag that, it lags that a little bit. And ain't no power in that. So that's why, and you can get more cycling and it's more efficient by just closing that. But that's what that conservation, that's what that is. Understanding that the tighter you are, you increase the radius by the square almost, because you're spinning. That's a physics. Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned earlier before we started that the 400 was like a punishment for you. I think that's how my daughter feels, and then she doesn't like the pain. How did you get over the pain?
So I understood when I had a good gait as far as stride. So I was able to go on that back stretch and still stay on it and open in my stride. So I was better than people just because I was kind of taller. I understood the stride. I understood how to control my energy on that back stretch. Okay. Not run too fast, not run too choppy, but just have it open and be cool with it, but still stay on the horseback there. I mean, it's a hard event when you train for it, because it's the only event that requires you to go max anaerobic, which is more over distance, and aerobic, which is sprinting. So it's a combination of both, and that's why it's one of the hardest events. But if you look at it like a punishment, it's gonna keep feeling like one. Yeah. You gotta learn how to just enjoy it, but find some way to execute instead of just competing in it. Say, okay, I'm gonna do this here, I'm gonna do that there, I'm gonna work on this here when I come home, and don't let those be too long. Like I'm gonna just get good on the backstretch, and you're gonna be on la-la land from there to there. Sometimes that's just too much, and that's why the 400 is so hard. Or you get in this home stretch, and even though the 400 hurdles, you got a hurdle, and it's hard, but even in that you got a rhythm. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4 hurdle. Yep. You get on this sometime and you just go blank sometime. Yeah, yep. You're just trying to get to that point. Yeah, that's why that race so hard. So you really got to know what you're doing and stick to what you're doing and train it and practice. So when you compete, you can tell your body to still go to that, and then you get faster from that because you get more efficient. But yeah, you got it. You got it.
I got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Does it matter having your hands open for some of those runners, or does it matter if they with it closed?
So I feel
'Cause
like
different people have different ways of, with their hands.
I actually, so the close is fine as long as it's not squeezing. So the close for me, I used to kind of go here with the close.
Okay.
Just it's light. It's not a close here. It's just like this, and it's just like that. Not squeezing. Because you squeeze, you're gonna start to recruit that muscle there, which is gonna push the shoulders up. Yep, no problem. Yep. She don't want y'all to hear her question. She like, what's up? Now I'm playing. What's up?
So I'm not from here.
Okay.
I don't know, like camp or if you have teams to go to the summer. So
You trying to get her on a team? Oh, this are you? Here? What? No, Maryland. She in Maryland.
yeah, I'm not camp. Yeah.
She'll know. I'm not even from here. I'm 2 hours from here, but she's you know the area.
Me?
Okay.
Well, I have a quick question.
Yes.
He's
All right.
he is stuck at the 50-second mark.
Quarter.
Same.
He is stuck at the 50. He cannot break the 50.
So how are you running? So maybe next time you do it with a strategy, it'll give you a little more
Like he cannot.
insight on
Here's what he does. He takes all good out the blocks.
it.
He gets to about the 300, and then he just strides and opens up. And then he waits until right at the 200, and then he sprints. Like that's where his gap is. That's where he passes people. He needs to pick up
Yeah,
here.
you need to stay on the horse over there. You think float, you need to think of active. Think of the word active. It ain't got to be a lot of more effort to make you go faster, but just being more active will keep you going a little more. Which is something you got to play with, because you got to be active and still open. There's a difference between active and open and just open.
Right.
Active will keep you that short ground contact hand where you stay on it. Active and not open. I mean, open sometimes it get you flat. Just back there playing around.
That's what.
flat.
He hits 50.4, 50.5, 50.4, 50. I mean, he's very
But what are you
super
coming through at
consistent.
200? First 200.
Like he's losing it here. On the last home stretches where he's
Last,
losing
like, 50
it. And I would say 50 to 75 meters. I mean, you can see him. He goes to his arms. His arms are big, but his legs are like.
But
they're
that
not.
means you don't have no. I didn't say you don't have. You need to do a little bit more speed endurance
So he needs to work the mile.
and absolute.
That's
speed.
not speed endurance.
No, he needs to do like
quick
150. Yes, good to see you. Thank you. Some 150, 250s, but I would even say just some quicker stuff, some 60, some absolute speed, and add that in, because it may be you so flat because you the 800.
He runs a 158. 8.
You're not used to getting into that sprint mechanics. Once you do more sprints and get into that sprint mechanic, when it's time to turn into a sprinter, you'll know how to turn into a sprinter. But if you just run it slow all the time, then you get used to running slow. So you got to mix a little bit of some absolute, maybe just some 30s, 40s in there. So when it's time for you to come to a sprinter at this home stretch, you know how to get in that position, yeah? Because they don't require to do that in the 800. You just kind of get into this rhythm there, yeah. So through training. But how would you say you run? Oh yeah, you already said he kind of just get out. So he losing it. He's probably losing it over there.
Well, he gets out strong. He's got the blocks pretty much figured out. The first, I would say, 50 meters, he looks good.
Look good.
He looks good. Here, from 50 to the 300,
From 50 to right here, okay.
So he's probably, I would say, he's still in speed, but he's just rhythm.
He's just rhythm.
He's just rhythm. And then this one, he doesn't do anything more than for the straight stretch right here, just stay where he's at. And then when he hits the 200 to the 225, I mean, you can see it. It kicks in, and he passes people.
So are you kicking it? Where are you getting speed from there? Are you getting it from opening up in the back? Are you turning over faster?
That's what he just runs. Like that's his pattern.
Right there.
Every single time, people are like, oh God, he's losing. I'm
And
like,
then
no,
the
he's
last
not.
50,
No, he's
he
not.
dies.
When he gets in here, he's gonna pass people. But then when he gets to about the 50 meters, sometimes,
Because then
I mean, it's struggle. It's hard. He can finish it, but you can see that it's,
it's the cadence. I think it's the cadence and the rhythm
Okay.
of everything. Oh, I appreciate it. You out of here? Hey, I appreciate it, man. Oh, I ain't even get to get it. We'll get it done. I'll see you in a couple of days. Appreciate it. Yeah, it may be.
we just got
It's
to do it
aerobic.
quick.
Yeah, because aerobic system is probably shot. And he's not used to doing that. So he don't have, his body not used to, okay, I'm tired, but I still got to stay in this sprint mechanic and move. Even if I don't apply a lot of force, I still got to move fast. So what you're doing absolute speed, you run faster in these 20s, 40s type of thing, then your race pace is not that fast, but you got to train faster than that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So
Just so
your
you can
legs
know what
move,
it, yeah, so your legs understand how to move fast. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, no problem.